Hello, welcome, good morning, and welcome back to Hello, and welcome back.
Good morning. Well, oh my God.
Hello.
No, a bit cheerier.
Hello, and welcome back to Travel Tools TV. How are you today?
Welcome back. Good morning, all.
Oh, it's been a cold one, hasn't it? Cold night.
Had snow last night.
A lot of people had a lot of snow last night.
Yes.
Luckily, we hardly had any.
We did have it, though.
There's nothing here. Nothing here. Right, so it is very cold today. It's a van video. We're in the van. We're stuck in the van. We're not stuck in the van, but we're staying in the van.
Yes.
So we're going to do, this was a suggestion from a viewer, Motorhome Survival Top Tips. So this is just a few tips which I made a list of last night. Mazzy's had a quick look at them.
Yeah. Dan's made the list, so I've had no contribution with this.
You will get plenty of contribution throughout.
I feel like they might differ on a few things, but we'll see.
See how it goes.
Because it's our opinion, isn't it? It's no one else's, yeah.
So this isn't like a 1 to 10 or anything like that. This is just a few tips, a few things we think you would benefit from being in a motorhome, yeah? Whether it be a product or advice. So let's just go along with it. So thank you to the person who gave me the idea for this one.
We got lots of video ideas, didn't we, last night?
We
so
did.
Thank you for those in the comments. You've taken lots of notes.
I
Jotted
have.
them all down, so could be some upcoming videos of that coming soon as well.
And I've put on the community post last night.
Did you?
Questions and answers.
Oh, Q&A.
Q&A. So we've had quite a few for that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all.
So, just a few tips in this one. So, I'm going to start, I think I'll start with, let's have a look down the list. Right, well it is winter, it is cold.
Yeah.
Heat. The best tip, I think we'd both agree on this, is get a diesel heater.
Absolutely.
Whether you've got a camper van or a motorhome, get a diesel heater. I think we went 3 years before we got one.
Possibly 4, actually. 3 or 4 years.
We froze to death for years.
Yeah, and a lot of people back in them days used to say about the noise, the smell in your van or whatever. But I tell you what, when you're cold, you will appreciate it.
You don't notice the smell at all. There isn't a smell. There really isn't. The noise, it's just a little bit of ticking outside. It doesn't disturb people. As long as they're not parked right next to you.
Yeah.
It's fine. If someone does park right next to us, we don't put it on.
Yeah.
But if they're keeping the 4 metres away, as they should be doing, then all is good. Diesel heater has changed our lives.
Without the diesel heater, which we were kindly gifted by Neil and Emma, actually, and they came and fitted it in for us.
Well, so. I showed them how to do it.
So we were awfully appreciative of that. The thing with it, when it comes more into effect with us, is when we're wild camping, so to say, when we're not on campsites. Because when we're not on campsites, we don't actually have the heating on. We don't run our bottles of gas down by putting the central heating on. Now, we know a lot of people would do that, but then they wonder why they run out of gas in 3 days. And we don't do that.
This is how we can make gas last 6 months for 2 bottles.
Yeah.
We don't have the fridge on when we're on the road, and we don't have heating on the road. No,
the diesel heater comes into effect, which is also very cheap to run as well, isn't it?
It's about £7 a week, and that is having it on all the time.
Yeah, practically on all the time.
It's so cheap.
Without that, we couldn't technically do wild camping in winter anymore, could we?
No.
So that's a must.
When you're on a campsite, we have heating on pretty much all the time when it's like this, when it's this cold.
Yeah.
But even on full, it can get stuffy.
Yeah.
If you have it on full overnight, it's too much.
Yeah.
We have to have it turned down because you can't breathe. It gets stuffy.
Also, I think on that note, everybody's needs are different as well. Some people want the heating on 24/7. Some people like us might just put a jumper or a dressing gown on and stay warm for for a few hours of the day.
Don't spoil one of my things on my list.
To save on that. But yeah, diesel heater is the way to go. Yeah, I can't really say much else on that. I mean, there are plug-in ones also you can opt for, which we do have. But again,
they take too much energy, too much electric.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what energy you have to spare, basically, doesn't it?
Yeah. Diesel heater, the way forward.
Absolutely.
That's one reason we do go on campsites quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because you can't have the diesel heater on all the time.
Yeah.
I suppose you could, but we don't.
Yeah.
On a campsite, you can just have the heating on low, and you haven't got that temperature of it is outside.
It's just central heating on 24/7, and yeah.
So another little tip while we're talking about sort of winter.
Yeah.
Another way to heat up: wear thermals. Just wrap up. You know, I don't feel the cold in the morning as long as I've got my thermal top on and my thermal pants on.
Yeah.
I just don't feel the cold.
See, I don't, but then that's when I'll live in my dressing gown to keep all snuggly and warm. But there are other options also. There are electric blankets and stuff. So
heated jackets.
Heated jackets. I've got one of those. That's brilliant. You can also get the same concept for a blanket as well. So it's just like a little battery pack, and you've got a lovely heated blanket all day. So it's not plugging it in and
hot water bottle.
Hot water bottles a must. A must.
You know, it's just simple little tips, but just do it.
Yeah.
Rather than waste your money on your gas.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting at more than anything, I think. Don't waste your gas or your electric on heating yourself up.
If you feel you don't mind, then you know, we all have to, like I said, we're all different, aren't we? Some people don't mind getting a can of gas every 3 days, but yeah.
If you're only going away for like 4 days every month, then just use it all.
Use it. Yeah, well, I wouldn't think nothing of it.
But when you're full time like us, or you're doing it all the time, a lot of the time, you need to cut down. And that's how we do it.
Top tip to how we will. We've got basically heated underneath blanket on our bed, so we've both got our own remote control. Now that's actually an eco kind of a friendly one, so it doesn't take up a lot of energy or anything. So on
campsite
we don't tend to need it, but then when you're on campsite have the option then of plugging it in. But if you also then have power banks, then that's not going to drain your power bank either anyway. So if you're going to get one of those, look for an what is the word I'm trying to look for? A low wattage running blanket, and it's brilliant, that blanket, isn't it? The underneath.
If it gets down to like -5 degrees, that's when it goes on.
Yeah.
It's just like a backup, is that? So you just hit on power.
Power, yes. Again, everybody's needs are different now for this, isn't it? So
and when we first got this van, we had one 100-watt solar panel on the top.
Yeah.
And one 100-watt leisure battery.
Yeah.
Since then, we've still got one solar panel on the top, 100 watt.
Yeah.
But we got 2 lithium batteries. Now, I think they are 200 watts each.
They are, yeah.
A lithium battery you can run right down, so it lasts twice as long as an acid battery. So we're getting the equivalent of like 400 watts out of each one, rather than 100 watts from an acid battery. So we're getting 8 times the power we had before. So one solar panel does us. We never run out of power, ever.
I need to hit on that note as well, though. I mean, so it depends on also how your fan setup is. Now, there's a lot of you out there that you can use your plugs and stuff when you're not on hookup. We can't. We don't have that inverter.
We don't have an inverter. We don't have 3-way plugs.
So technically, we don't actually even use the leisure batteries. Well, we don't. The only
Yeah,
way
you're right.
to use those if then we got an inverter and then things were then going to be powered from that, but we haven't gotten around to ever getting the inverter. But on that note, again, we've managed for 6 years without using a plug. We don't feel the need to have a plug.
I think we do.
We will one day,
I think
yeah.
it's something we need to look
Yeah,
into.
but what
Get an
I'm saying
inverter and
is-
get proper plugs in here.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, though, we have managed 6 years without it. There's some people who get up in the morning and start plugging things in all over the van, and they're actually forgetting, you know, what sort of a setup and what power you're on, you know, and you have to bear
Like
that in
someone
mind.
someone said in a comment about the fridge freezer.
Yeah.
They changed it for a, what do you call it?
Condenser, is it?
Condenser fridge freezer or something. I can't remember. Stu was on
Yeah.
about getting one of them.
Yeah.
And they have theirs plugged directly into the leisure battery.
Oh, okay.
So that might be an option.
That could be an option.
So then we wouldn't be using gas.
Well, I still like the freeway option on the fridge, because you can then use it when it's on hookup. You can then use it when you're well camping, and so on. Yeah.
Needs looking into.
yeah, that's a big decision on its own.
But that would be my biggest advice. If you can afford them, they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Lithium batteries. Get
Yeah.
rid of the acid, get lithium in, you'll
Yeah.
double your power to start with straight away.
Yeah.
On top of that, power station. Now, because we haven't got an inverter, we need a power station so that we
Yeah.
have got plugs. So we always carry... I can't even get this up. I'm not even going to
No,
try.
it's a big EcoFlow one.
So we have this big EcoFlow 240 watts.
We have many.
2,400 watts, sorry.
Yeah.
We've got three. We've got one in the boot, we've got that one, and we've got two
Yeah.
small ones. We've got four.
Yeah, so mainly for us, if we were, let's say, well camping now and we haven't got power in the van, coming into the van, we use those more so then for plugging in laptops, recharging phones, sort of a little essentials. We don't sort of then go and plug the kettle into it every morning.
No.
We don't use it for that, do we? We'll stick with like a gas kettle on that note. But
That will probably last us a week, 10 days, that on its own.
that could have
Easily.
Yeah, that on its own, easily, yeah. Again, some people might ask, what's the best one for me? You know, but again, everybody's needs are different. It depends what you're using, what appliances, and what your purpose is for it.
I would say don't get anything under 1,500 watts when it comes to a power bank, because you
yeah.
can't plug a lot of things into them,
I
like
think-
a kettle.
I think if you're going to spend out on them, spend properly, save properly, and get a decent, proper wattage one. I wouldn't go lower than a 2,000 personally.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, lithium batteries and a power bank.
Yeah.
Or the inverter idea and get plugs in, which we haven't got.
Yeah,
so
we
we
haven't
can't
got-
discuss that because we don't understand
Yeah.
it. We haven't done
But
it.
we can say from our perspective that we have managed for 6 years without it.
This way works for us.
Yeah. So I'd like to just go back onto the power bank note once again, because I don't think we might have explained ourselves totally properly. Although they're useful for us off-grid, they're actually really handy for us on-grid as well. Again, it's each to their needs. So we don't actually have a lot of plugs in the van. And so we do use these all the time down here, don't we?
Yeah, so it's
For all
just
our
at the side of the
portable bits.
table
Yeah.
with our
And then we have one also.
C to C.
Yeah.
So it's always there, so we can just plug his phones in, plug his
Yeah.
laptop in while we're sat here, rather than leads going all over the
And
van.
then we also have one sort of portable out in the awning as well. But I mean, we know a lot of people that don't even have them, so it depends on what your needs are. Some people just go to campsites all the time and they don't need these, and then you might have 100 plugs in your van, so you don't need these.
You learn to live with what you've got, don't
Yeah.
you? But
Yeah.
these are little luxuries which help us. They might not help
Yeah.
other people, but we think they would.
So they're just not off-grid useful items for us. We use these on a daily basis, don't
Yeah.
we?
So what we're doing here is just giving
Yeah.
you random things. We have talked about most of them all before.
Yeah, many a times. It's just nice to remind everybody,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You know, we've got new viewers.
Yeah.
We haven't done these listy videos for a couple of years now, probably.
Yeah, and you
So-
do learn as the time goes on. I always believe you still learn as you're travelling as well.
If we can make this video and help one person with a campervan or motorhome, then we've done
Yeah.
its job. This video's done its job,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And what we have been thinking of this morning is titles for more in depth.
Yeah.
We want to go in depth on a few subjects.
Yeah, probably more important subjects as well, rather than just rounding everything up
Yeah.
like we are today.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but that'll be for another video, for another day.
Yes.
It's your ideas that have given us this. So let's move on to the next. What is your other?
Next one, let's go on to toilet cassette.
Yes.
Extra toilet cassette.
Now, I think everybody laughed at us when we got the second toilet cassette. And they didn't understand. I mean, back in those days, for the first 3 or 4 years, if you haven't really been watching our channel, for the first 3 or 4 years of us having the motorhome, we never could afford to go on campsites. We never went on campsites. Very, very rare. So having the second toilet cassette sort of delayed that purpose of having to
Go on
go
a campsite.
back. Yeah.
Because one toilet cassette between two of you will last 2 days, 3 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then,
Right for a weekend, maybe.
yeah, and then doing a lot more wild camping and stuff, we realised actually, you know what, a third will be really good. And people laughed at us even more, but you know, it's your needs.
So we have 3
Toilet cassettes.
toilet cassettes, and so we can go
Yeah.
a week off grid
Yeah.
without worrying about emptying a toilet. People manage with just one
Yeah, of course they do.
and wild camp. I
Yeah.
don't know I don't know if they're going to airs to get them emptied or I
don't know where they're going, but it
As long as they're
depends.
not emptying them in the woods and stuff, I'm not
Yeah.
too bothered.
Which people have been known to be doing, haven't they? Been in the papers for, but yeah, again, it's your needs, though, isn't it? Would we get a 4th? No, I don't think
No.
we would. Would we downsize to 2? No, we're quite happy with the 3, aren't we? Sort of for our needs and
3.
purposes, yeah. So highly recommend. You don't need to get 3. We're not recommending that. That's our needs, but maybe think about getting a spare toilet cassette. It's always handy.
Definitely.
You never know
Now
when
you think if there's a family of 4,
Gosh, yeah,
that's going to fill up in a day.
yeah.
So you couldn't wild camp.
Yeah, so you...
Like another, I know
Yeah.
people think it's disgusting. I don't do it when we're on campsites
No,
or anything, but
no.
a pee bottle.
Yeah, many
know.
people do it. Lorry drivers do it. Amazon drivers do it. A lot of people do it. A lot of motorhomerists do it, we're being told. So, yeah.
Just get one of them. Just want to hold that bottle up. Mazzy.
No, I don't.
No, it's not a wee bottle. Just
No, it's
show
a big
'em.
water bottle. It's a big water bottle.
So we don't drink out of the taps. We always drink these. So when that's finished, it might be used as a pee bottle in
Yeah.
the future.
Not for me. So what
Oh,
we
just
have,
for me.
going into a little bit more detail, what we have found is Dan pees a little bit more than me. So yeah, that's just another little tip anyway. But yeah, going back to the toilet cassettes, again, it's your needs. But that's what we use.
Yeah.
And it works for us.
So extra toilet cassette.
Yeah.
Right, this is for full timers, people who are full time
Yeah.
motorhomerists. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the same for campervan people. I'm guessing it is.
Yeah.
Insurance on your van. Now,
Oh, yes.
Nearly I bet there's hardly anyone out there who is insured to be a
Properly.
full-time traveller.
Don't get me wrong, it can cost nearly double the amount. So
costs a fortune.
I'm guessing a lot of people avoid that and don't really tell the insurance company. But if that was the
Yes.
case and something happens to your van, and it can, you're going to be in an awful sticky situation there, aren't you?
So I think when we first got it, it was £1,200, and it's now up to what, 1,500 or something?
About 1,500 now. Yeah.
Goes up every year.
Yeah.
But that covers you for full European breakdown anywhere.
Yeah.
And
It covers you for living in the
everything
van.
for living in the van.
Yeah. So if they find out, then, well, hold on, you shouldn't be really in the van more than 6 months of the year, but we're covered. So
We're covered.
Yeah, and that's the only insurance company we know that actually does.
That's what
the
I was going to
full-time
move on
living.
to.
Yeah,
It is the only company out
Yeah.
there. So, you know, the people say, well, we only pay 600, 700.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get caught, you have an accident and you get caught, let's say your van blows up
Yeah, but these.
and they find out you've lied to them, you'll get
Yeah.
nothing. And I want to tell a story.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you how I know this, because I
Yeah.
used to have a moped. All right, it was only £500 worth. But my stepdad, when I was insured on it, told them I was a gardener, which I was previously.
Yeah.
But by then I'd become a YouTuber. So when it came to trying to get paid out, someone stole it basically. When it tried to get paid out for it, they says, "What's your job?" I says, "I'm a YouTuber." I says, "Oh, well, it says you're a gardener on here." I says, "Yeah, well, that was my job, but I've changed to a YouTuber." They refused to pay me out, so we lost £500 on that moped. They could do exactly the same with your motorhome.
I think when it comes to paying out on big vans and cars and vehicles anyway, they will try and find any slight little thing. So let's say if you've moved address or your job changes and you don't notify them, or modifications on your van, if you don't notify them, they will pull you for it when the day comes that you need to claim on your insurance. It's like the diesel heater. We have actually told our insurance company about that, and it's absolutely fine. And also the turbo thing under
Can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Tuning box.
Some people said, "Oh, well, you're not covered now on your our insurance." Are fully aware of that, and just make sure you do tell them down to the
Be
smallest
100% honest with your
Yeah.
insurance company. It's as simple as that.
Let's be real. We've all put our life savings into these vehicles, our vans, our motorhomes, and you save up for years and years and years. If it goes up in flames, which can easily happen, or get stolen,
So don't take the risk.
yeah.
So it might be a lot of money, but the way we see that's
Yeah.
our council tax.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than council tax.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously, if you're not full time, this isn't
don't need it.
relevant anyway. No.
but that's just for full-time
Yeah.
livers, motorhomerists, whateverers.
Humorous.
Right, winter again. Let's get back to winter.
Okay.
So we did mention this in a vlog the other day.
Yeah.
Dehumidify your all
yeah.
winter.
And that's whether you're living in it or not living in it. If you're in the van, you're going to cause condensation, even if it's just for a weekend.
So get your... Like, that's only been there for a week. Look at all the water.
Yeah, we
Get
changed.
these, hang them up.
Yeah, we changed those again about a week before leaving Scotland. Get loads of those. Just hang them everywhere. As unsightly as you think.
Hang
but
them
moulds-
everywhere.
Moulds more unsightly.
And have a dehumidifier, and dehumidify, I'd say, once every 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah, we have
Get all the water out, especially in your garage.
Yeah, we have a proper electric dehumidifier, a big one that it can do a massive space. So we will often pull it in the garage, get it all dehumidified, or pull it in the van, won't we?
We certainly will.
Yeah.
And we haven't had mould now
No.
for a couple of years because we've learnt his lesson.
Yeah, we've kept on even cautious about it, haven't we? Yeah.
Another little tip to save on gas, because we always like to try and save on gas. Not so much that gas costs a lot of money, but mainly because it's quite hard to get it sometimes.
There was one point that I think the whole country was just struggling to get a can of gas.
Yes.
It was like,
I think that was just after lockdown. You couldn't get it anywhere.
It was horrendous, yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's still can be dicey to whether you can get your hands on it or not, can't it? But,
So,
yeah.
just to try and save on gas, air fryer.
Well,
best
there's
thing
lots
we've
of
ever
options. Yeah.
Best thing we ever got. It's better. You can make things crispier in an air fryer than a lot of ovens.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. The food is better, I would say, in an air fryer than an oven for a lot of dishes.
Yeah.
So, just another way to save on a bit of gas. Funny thing is,
Yeah. Is that it?
that were it for that. I was speaking to a friend recently,
Yeah.
and he's been in the middle of nowhere for like 8 years. this country in the middle of nowhere, which is like third world country.
Yeah.
And he didn't even know what an air fryer was. And he's come back to England,
yeah.
he's got an air fryer, and he's been telling me how amazing these things are, and he can't believe there's such an amazing invention.
Yeah.
They are good. They are good. Right, security. Oh, we always go on about security.
It's a must. It's not us going on and on and on. It's an absolute must.
Security devices. Make sure you've got a very good alarm, obviously.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got something on your pedals or your steering lock or both, a security device. We have a clutch claw.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Make sure you put the stickers which come with all these in your windows to put the thieves off.
Like a deterrent. So to say.
That helps.
Yeah.
And make sure you have cameras inside and outside all your van all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you know, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. The blink system, I haven't got them here.
Cameras are cheap nowadays. They're not like they used to be going back years ago. So to pick up a little camera ain't.
You can get this
it?
blink system. I've got about 8 blink cameras.
Yeah.
You can in the Amazon sales, which they do like 1 or 2 a year. You can pick 4 of them up for £100, and that's each corner of your van outside.
Yeah,
fully
there's
covered.
better ways of doing it, but I'm sure. But that's the way we do it, isn't it? It's just practical for us because in that way we can move them about and use them for this, use them for that.
And we can be away from the van, and I'll get a notification if anyone goes near it.
Yeah.
So, security, incredibly important, obviously.
Even just the deterrence as such is important, you know. So, yeah, highly recommend.
And as I think I've said before, when you are leaving your van anywhere remote, pull all your curtains on so they don't know if you're in or out.
Yeah, don't give them an inkling that you've gone out for the day. Yeah.
And my last little tip, last little tip, but this is more me.
Yeah.
Use all the apps available to help you as a motorhomeist or campervannerist.
This isn't just aimed at full-timers. This is
everybody.
anyone travelling. Yeah.
Everybody. So, you've got things like wiki camps.
Yeah.
Whichever club you're in, we're in Caravan and Motorhome Club, use their app. Park for Night is one of us favourites. TripAdvisor. The Leveller, Camper Leveller, to make sure your motorhome's level. Just get all the apps and use them, because there's nothing better than going on a trip and having a bit of a plan. You don't have to plan every single day and everything you're doing, but what you'll find most people do is have Google Maps. And what they'll do, if I can show you on here, is make a little marker where something is. Right, so whether it be somewhere, the green on mine is places worth going to visit or see, which sound interesting. I've got little ones for campsites, I've got ones for park-ups, cafes, anything. So that is actually the Isle of Arran. Never been, but I've got it all mapped out, ready for if I ever go there. So, yeah, just a little tip. And then, because there's nothing worse than waking up in the morning and not knowing where you're going, where you're staying that night, the stress of it, it does my head in, doesn't it?
I don't feel like it's for everybody. For me now, I hate apps and stuff, so...
If you're on a campsite and you're booked on the campsite and you know exactly which campsites you're off to, fine.
Yeah, then you don't need to worry as such. But
waking up in the morning and not knowing if you're going on a campsite or can get on a campsite.
Or places even just to empty your toilets and places like that. Or like you just said about levelling the van up, how level are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they are useful. I'm just one of these that are useless with phones.
Yes, but
I just don't...
you've got me, you see.
Yes, so I don't need it.
But you probably would do if I wasn't around.
Yeah, probably.
But luckily for you, I
have you.
Right, so yeah, just a few tips there. Random tips.
Yeah.
Hopefully it helps somebody out.
Yeah.
As I say, we have got a couple of ideas for more in-depth videos.
Yeah.
We'd like to do one on seasonal pitches, wouldn't we?
Yeah, seasonal pitches versus campsites, just everything like that. Tips to know before buying a van. Stuff we brought that we shouldn't have brought and maybe should have brought and stuff like that. Bought. This is not an English lesson, darling, okay?
And we're going to do a video on how to learn English.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions or anything like that, or any video ideas again on lists and stuff that we can run through, or that you'd like to know how we do things, let us know down in the comments and we'll try and get back to you.
We're going to try not to make all the videos us just sat here talking.
No.
We don't want that. That's not what we want.
I'm quite enjoying it at the minute though.
It's easy. We'd like to think it's informative.
Yes.
It's good when it's cold weather.
And we haven't done them for a good few years.
Yeah.
And things can change in them few years, your opinions on things.
But as soon as we turn this button off, we'll start vlogging. So we're going to be making a vlogging video as well and splitting all this lot up. Anyway, thanks for watching.
I hope you enjoyed that.
We'll catch you on the next one. We love you all to bits, especially you.
And you. Bye.